Hello, my name is Darren Phillip. I'm the creator and developer of Don't Forget Construction, 162 Towers, and Phillip Solution. Prior to becoming a developer, I was a professional athlete. During my days of playing professional sports, all I thought about was my next career, and that was to become a developer. So we're here at 162 East 52nd Street, also be known as 162 Towers. We're doing something here that most people don't do. We're going to be changing an apartment complex that's a 4-unit into an 8-unit. And you want to know how? Hard work, dedication, determination, and the know-how. This is something that everyone can do. A lot of individuals like yourself have multi-units that they like to get bigger. In our New York City area, you can't go east to west, you can't go left to right. But what we can do is go north and south and go up. And this is what the process we're doing here. We're doing something that hasn't been done on this block. Not a lot of people do it in this neighborhood. That's multiply the amount of people that can be put in this building. 162 Towers is going to be the first of its kind. There's not a lot of projects, as I explained, that has this type of work and the way it's going to be done. This is a process that's taken years. This is what turned me into a common local contractor into a developer, because I want to develop space. My game plan is to develop the area, and the only way to develop the area is bringing fresh and new blood. Here we are coming back from the backyard where we put most of the materials where we go, because another thing you have to do when you're doing construction is you have to have storage places. A lot of times you want to order material, and especially in this climate, materials are very hard to get. So what we got to do is always have somewhere to store it, somewhere to put it, so we know exactly when we need something, we have it. It's really difficult in this day and age, but what makes it special is planning. You have to plan. I know everyone says that planning is easy, but it really isn't. It's something that has to be done every day, because plans change, things change, people change. The amount of money you have changed. The amount of money you have to spend changes. So it's a thing that you have to have. So make sure one of the areas you have is storage, and one of the areas here that there's not a lot of lead time, because you lose a lot of money when you don't have the things you need in order to take over. Need some natural light. Let me see if I can get you some light up in here. Get you some light. Get you some light. I said the light. Okay, so what this is one of the first apartments that we're going to do a little bit of the renovation to. What we're going to do in this apartment is basically add on to the apartment. The apartment was an apartment that was recently done in 2016, which was a gut renovation. So the apartment is where it needs to be. One of the tenants that's going to be occupying this apartment, what they're doing is they're actually staying in another space, because when you build onto a building of this stature, what you're going to do, no one can be around here in the building. No one can live here for safety precautions. And also, for the fact is dust and dirt. This is what happens in construction. You know, I call construction one of the grimiest work to do, because there's a lot of dust and dirt that can affect you health-wise. So we don't have them in here, but we taking care of their place. As you can see, one of the biggest things that we've done in here is protect their things. They have things that continue to stay here, so we protect them with covering, we protect them the floor, in order for us to get this apartment to where it was. This apartment is a normal 2-bedroom apartment. Well, we're changing this into what I call a super apartment. This apartment now is going to add the HVAC system, which is the cooling, the heating, and air. So during the wintertime, besides their normal heating radiators, they're going to have what we call the mini split system. And what that do is give them extra heat and gives them air, give them the AC factor in the summertime. So what we're doing is giving them an upgrade. And we also, if you look at the ceilings, we've opened up all of these ceilings, because now, being that this building is going to be bigger, this building needs something called a sprinkler system. Every building over the 4 family in New York City, New York State, needs a sprinkler system, and that's what we're doing here. So these is open to add the HVAC, which is their own heating and air, and to add the sprinkler system. With that, this apartment will be completed. Here we're gonna do some painting, you know, just sprucing up the place a little bit so they can feel more comfortable when they get in here. It'll be the first apartment done, and it's all going to be the apartment that we're going to call a pilot program, where people come in and see what they can do, could see what can be done and how it's being done. Because a lot of individuals too, like I'm trying to teach everyone that understands this process, that if not you, then who? Because you're going to be able to do this on your own. What I'm going to show you is that this is a process that everyone can do. If you plan it right and have the right people in your corner, meaning the right individuals doing what they're supposed to do, because everyone has their own job, and it's a job for everyone. So if you put everyone in this space, you can do this. You can do this without having to be the Turners of the world, the Gilbanes of the world. These are the bigger companies. You don't have to be that way. You can do someone or other people that feel that this is what they want to do, this can be done. Okay, so we're here in the only one bedroom in the building. This one is my pride and joy. And the reason it's my pride and joy, this one is going to be the most sophisticated. This apartment is going to be a 1-bedroom duplex. A lot of people ask me, why a 1-bedroom duplex? Why not turn it into a 2-bedroom if you have that kind of space? Because 1-bedroom duplex are not in this area. This is not what people typically find. So this is what people are going to typically want. So what we're going to do is we're connecting the basement and the first floor together to become a duplex. The reason I call it my pride and joy, because it's not being done in this area. This is something that's going to be one of our claim to fame. As a developer, as a contractor, this is something that's going to be, I don't know how to sometimes explain it. It's something that I go to sleep smiling at, because not a lot of people do it, not a lot of people understand it, and not a lot of people care to want to do it. And that's because a little bit of it is because of the cost, but the most important thing is it's a lot of strategical things that needs to be done. So it's a structural thing. The biggest thing for our company is structure. Structure. I want to know every time I get up in the morning, every time I go to sleep at night, that my building won't fall. So the thing we're handling is a lot of the structure. Adding stairs into an apartment, we're putting footings, which is our underpinning under the building, which transfer the weight. So that now the building is going to be strong enough to put anything we want going up. In the future, the zoning could change. Right now, it's an 8-unit. The zoning might change a little bit. This is an R6 zone. It might change into an R7. Our R6 zone just means 6 stories. So it might be going to an R7, 8, 9, go up, and then I can continue to add on to it. So what I'm doing is taking care of the structure and taking care of the underpinning. Going back to this 1-bedroom, the one we're going to make it, this one is going to be a 1-bedroom duplex, something that hasn't been done, as I explained, something that's going to change. That's going to change the makeup of the area, because once I do it and once I show people that it can be done and it's going to bring value to their building, they're going to want to do it. This apartment now in this area in New York City, in Brooklyn, this is going to go from $3,500 to $4,000. So you picture that. If you just add a little piece to your basement, that adds to what the building makes per year as an owner, something that you'd be happy about. There's more gifts to buy, more things that you can use. So the next part of it we're going to show the second floor, which is the second floor now. If you're going from the bottom, it's actually the 3rd floor, but it's the 2nd floor as is the walk up. So what I want you guys to see is just see the process of what we're doing and what's going on, so that you're not scared or startled when you look at some of these videos and say, wow, that's impossible to do. Nothing's impossible, especially in construction. Everything can be done, and it can be done at a price, and it can be done at a time frame, and it can be done the way you want it. It's an open canvas. So what I'm doing with this building is a canvas. Sat down with the architect and I made sure that he put the canvas on the table, and I took the paint and threw it against the canvas. And now a creation was born. So that's what we're doing now. So what I'm showing you guys now is upstairs. This is the hallway. So whenever you're doing a building of this magnitude, there's a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts, a lot of different things that have to be done. What we do is try to always take the building down to the bones, where, as I spoke about, this canvas is easier to create. When you have something that's blank, it's easy to create, and that's what we're doing. You're also going to see the way that you're going to see a lot of us are dressed here. We're dressed in a type of way where we're comfortable as well, but it's construction at the end of the day. So if you see dirt and you see marks, you can know I'm just not the person that talks. I'm the person that gets into the mix. I call it being in the mix. Because if you understand the value of hard work and if you understand the value of doing it yourself, you're going to respect the people that do it for you, and it's going to be easier for you to compensate these individuals. Because a lot of people do a lot of haggling. A lot of haggling is not always the best thing to do because you want your work to be done efficiently, and you want people to come to work every day that wanted to do it. You don't want them to think it's just $1, because if it's just $1, you're not going to get the maximum effort from them. But once you get them that they're comfortable and that they're also making money, you're going to get the maximum effort. Because in construction, in real estate, in anything to do with property, the contractor can make or break you. Can make or break how much you spend, can make or break your time frame, can make or break what you want to do. Because you could come in saying, I'm going to do this, this, and that, and if the contractor's not on board, this, and that turns into that, this, and this. So what you'll know today, what you're going to know today is that all of this can be done. You just want to see it. What we're trying to show you guys today is exactly that. Just to see it, it can be done, and don't be afraid of it. A lot of people are afraid of construction or afraid of real estate or afraid of tenants. Don't be afraid. If this is the business this is the business. You have people that have their 9 to 5, it's a setting that they have to deal with every day. You go to your 9 to 5, you have to work on it. There are deadlines that have to be met. It's the same thing in real estate across the board. So don't be afraid. It's something you can do. So let's go upstairs. So this is the top floor. This is the top floor of the existing building. We're going to be adding 2 more floors to it, but these are one of the apartments that have been renovated earlier, 2016. I think this one was renovated in 2018 to be exact. So it's pretty young, but there's going to be some upgrades to it. As we talked to you about downstairs, one of the pilot apartments, this is another one of them. One of them that we're going to be adding sprinkler system to it, because as I explained to you guys, as you add capacity to the building has to be safer. So if there's a fire, New York State's laws, anything over the 4 family, that you need a sprinkler system. So that's going to help. And also brings value to your building. So as far as insurance wise too. So that's I got to touch on. A lot of times that you're doing buildings, especially when the tenants that's not in here, is that you have to have a certain type of insurance on this. One insurance that we have on this building is called builder's risk. We had the inspector come yesterday. So what they want to do is to make sure that when you're doing construction on a building, that you actually know what you're doing and you know how to keep the building safe. Because they don't want to come to here one day that the building is down, or the building has blown up, the building caught on fire, or the building is not where they left it because you don't know what you're doing. So yesterday we passed our inspection for builder's risk. And that's strictly an insurance policy when you're building a building. That is the only policy that they allow, especially in New York State. Other states can be different, but New York State, that's what you need. So what we're doing is the same thing like we just showed at the one that's downstairs. We're going to be putting the HVAC in this situation, which is going to split the mini splits, which you're going to have in different spaces. The reason I use the mini splits over central air, because I'm a guy that likes to have my own heat or my own cold the way the temperature I want it. And when you have central air, that's the temperature for everyone. Although you can zone them, but you normally don't zone each room. With the mini split, we're going to have it in each room. So each individual person can be comfortable when they're in their own surrounding, their own space. So that's what we're going to be doing in here. Besides the painting and the upgrades we're going to be doing, we're going to upgrade this a little bit better in here so the people could be comfortable, because not only doing all the work and spending the money, now on the flip end of it, I need all the residual to come back. I want to make sure that everything that I put out, that I can get back. And that's why planning is very important. But this is the floor that we're going to do. So going over here by this closet, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be going into this closet for the stairway so we can go up the 2 more floors. Because what we're going to do is, another thing you guys got to also remember to understand, and just to piggyback a little bit of that, is that it's a zoning thing. Whenever you're adding space, adding square footage to your home or to your investment property or to any property in itself, there's a code. And the normal code of what the original building is one code. The normal additions is another code. So these are things you got to know. So what we found out is we couldn't use the same square footage of what the building is. We have to take it off about 200 to 300 square foot in either direction, meaning that the building is not going to be as big going as high or as wide, but what they're going to do is its own footprint. So this 8 unit for the apartments are going to be smaller than the first 4 that was there. And that's just the zone and the way they go it. I mean, that's something that you can't get away with, but it's something that you still viable to what you want to do. So this apartment is going to be one of the apartments that is going to be used, and it's going to be taking some of the space, which is the air space to what it is, because here we have 10-foot ceilings. They're actually 11 feet, 10-9. But what we're going to be doing is taking some of the ceilings, we're going to make this ceiling 10, we're going to take those 9 inches, so we can add it to the staircase, so the staircase could go up, 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 up and away. And then now we can add 2 floors. So this is one of the apartment, another one of the I call pilot programs. This is an apartment I can show. This is an apartment that has basically all its bones already. In computers, you got hardware and software. This apartment has its hardware and software already. It's just going to be added on to it. Again, in the computer, in those terms, you're just adding memory. So that's what we're doing here. Good morning, USA. My pride and joy. My pride and joy. This building is what I call, and sometimes I sit home and I contemplate on what I want to call this building. The reason I use 162 towers, obviously it's the address of the building, but also towers, because it's, my mom used to work in the Twin Towers, and she was in the towers when the towers went down. She escaped, which, for the grace of God was in her corner. She escaped and she didn't lose her life. So I always said to myself, when I'm gonna put together a series of apartment buildings or a series of skyscrapers, I call this, because this is our mini skyscrapers. I'm never going to be the one to be in Manhattan with skyscrapers 100 feet up, 100 floors. So this is my mini skyscrapers. So that's why I use towers. And every property that I have, that I build up, will be the address of it and towers. And that's a little bit of my mom. So thanks, Mom. You're putting us in a space where people won't understand, but it's dear to our heart. And you started something we call generational wealth. This is one of the reasons I'm into real estate. This is one of the reasons I tell people, if you have any money, this is the easiest thing to help you grow that money and to help you maintain that money for not only you, for your family, for your kids, for your nephews, for your nieces, for whoever that you feel that you want to pass on that legacy to. This is the way to do it. So Mom, thank you for helping us pass on this legacy. So what we're doing here is, we're on the roof. So what's going on here is we're going to make this 2 more floors. But the reason I brought you guys up to here, because obviously the 2 floors are not here yet, so you can't see. But the reason I brought you up here is what we're going to be doing here. This will be, imagine this at the top, as the 2 floors that's been done, imagine this at the top. We're going to be putting a rooftop deck. That's another thing. I don't want to give all the ins and outs, but we're doing this for a reason. I want people to understand that they can do it and they can learn from it, and it doesn't have to be hidden. Just because I've done it doesn't mean you can't do it. And because you've done something doesn't mean I can't do it. We should all want to be able to do this as a community, as a culture, as mankind. Just want to elevate. And that's what we should do. A lot of people have the crabs in a barrel mentality. What my mentality is, I'm the crab that's on top and you can't pull me down because I'm pulling you up. And that's what I want. That's what I want people to see. This is what reason I'm doing a video. This is the reason I'm doing this. This is why I'm going to pass it down to the kids. This is what I want people to understand, that they can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If you can't do it, it's because you choose not to do it. It's not because you don't have the resources or the individuals that can do it. So what we're going to be doing is a rooftop deck. Another thing they don't have in this area, but they have in the city and they have all over the places, many buildings don't normally do rooftop decks. The reason they don't do rooftop decks, number 1, it's not thought of. Number 2, it's a lot of responsibility in it. Number 3, there's a cost involved with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that we can do anything that everybody else could do. It doesn't have to be on a big scale. It could be on a small scale. It helps you with financing too. A building like this to do will cost you $1 million to do, instead of doing it on a bigger scale, which is going to cost you 2 and 3. There's more individuals that can reach this number than that number. And the reason I say, because and people say, well, I don't have that money. You can get to that money. You don't have to do things on yourself. There's something called teamwork. There's something called help. You can reach out, and there's a lot of people. I partner on a lot of deals. I don't, all the deals are not my own. I partner. Some deals I'm a silent partner. Some deals that I lead. Some deals, I'm the one that put it together. So there's so many different ways you can do it. But going back to this is going to be a rooftop deck. And you're saying, how? How can you make it a rooftop deck? Look and see. Over the course of time, you guys will see. Over the course of our videos, on our social media outlets, you're going to see how we get this done. We're going to have a rooftop. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be having a performer perform on this rooftop. Is they're going to open this rooftop up. I'm not going to let out in the bag who it's going to be. People will probably not know the video, know me, probably can tell who it's going to be, but I'm going to have a performer here perform to open this up, to show people that this can be done, and anybody can do it. So a rooftop deck is going to be, so you picture this, a 4-unit turning into an 8-unit with a rooftop deck, a 1-bedroom duplex, and we're changing the footprint of the building. Though it's not unheard of, it's not difficult, but it's not a walk in the park. So what I want everyone to understand that it will be done, and it's going to be done. It's just something that's going to take time, and it's a lot of different. I have approved plans to do it, so I've gone through all the steps, and all the steps I'm going to explain to you what the steps are. The steps into putting a project like this. The first thing you want to know is if it can be done. I always say get with an architect, hire an architect, get an architect to consult, to tell you exactly what can be done in the space in this building. Once you have that, everything else is simple after that. Financing is financing is easier when you have an architect that has plans or knows exactly what you do. When you do a business, most time when you open your business or when you go looking for funding or when you're looking for things to do with the business, they ask you, do you have a business plan? The architect is your business plan when it comes to real estate. Although they still need a written business plan, but the architect is your business plan, because now you could bring this to any funding sources, or you could bring it to any partners, or you can sit down yourself and know, listen, I have the plan, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. Second most important thing is a contractor. Contractor you can trust, contractor that has the credentials to do this type of work, a contractor that understands time. Time is money. Money is time. It's just what it is. That's how it goes. So if you want to find a contractor, obviously we do that. Don't forget home improvement. Don't forget construction. We don't forget builders as well. We handle that. If you need someone to help you get into that process, Phillip Solutions, that's us again. What we have is different avenues that can help you. And by having these different avenues, it's easier for you to get to what you need to get to. And as I said, Phillip Solutions can help you, put you into the space of what you need. And don't forget, construction will be the construction company that helps you bring your dream to a reality. So what I want you guys to understand, that this process is a process. This is something that it's not overnight, but can be finished overnight. And the reason I say, you're going to say, how can you finish it overnight? It's easy. Because once you start the process and you put it together, it's now following the process. That's how the world runs. That's how life is. There's a process that you go through every day. Your process getting up in the morning, taking kids to school, going to work, that's a process. It's the same rules of time. So what I want you guys to understand is we are the team for you in any facet you need, and this can be done. Keep saying it to you. If not you, then who? That's the motto. Why can't I? That's the tagline. This is the front of the building. This is where you're going to be able to look out and see the front, the street side of the building. The back, where we were was in the back of the building. This is going to be the back part of the building. This is going to be the front of the street side of the building. This is what you're going to see. The back side of the building is going to have decks. It's going to have Romeo and Juliet towers, I call it, which is where you can step over and drop down your hair and enjoy your surroundings. So this is the rooftop, which will be a rooftop deck, but 2 floors above. So basically, we're going to be like this building across with a rooftop deck. It's going to be phenomenal. So this is the most important part of the building. I know I've stated about going up, I've stated on renovating, I've stated on a lot of things, but this is the most important part of the building. This is what makes sure the building can handle the weight and handle everything that we're doing going up. No matter if it's weight, no matter if it's size, no matter if it's width, this is what happens. So what we call here is called underpinning, footing. What we're adding is footing to the building. The easiest way I explain what footing is comparing it to a human being. So comparing it to the human being is real easy. When you get taller and when you grow from a baby to a toddler to a kid to a teenager to a young adult, to becoming a mom or dad, or what we call the head of the household, you grow. The easiest way that you know that you're growing is your foot size. Think about it when you was a kid. Your parents used to always say, yo, you're growing like weeds. Why is your foot always growing? The same rules apply when you're doing a building, when you're adding footing, when you're adding strength, when you're growing the building up. It's real easy. In Spanish, they say growing the building. They kind of turn it around. So what we're doing is we're just doing the same thing in the building. This building was able to hold 3 floors. Now we want the building to be able to hold 6 floors. And how we do it is something that we call underpinning, something that we call footing. So just picture yourself, as you grow, your feet getting bigger. So the reason your foot gets bigger is to hold your weight and your size. The same thing you want with a building. The same format, looking like a letter L. This is the building, this is the footing. But we bring it down a little bit, more like a jug handle. But for us as humans, we do the same thing as an L. Your foot get bigger, you get taller, you get wider. The same thing we're going to do here. So if you look at the things that we're doing here, we're adding cement to the bottom of the building. So if you look at it now, and I'm going to try to show it to you, a little easier. Here, this is the old footing. The top part is the old footing. This is what was there prior to. Now that the building is going to be growing up, or the building is going to be adding to the building, adding square foot, adding weight to the building, now we add something called the footing. So what we do is a cement base. We use a normal cement base, or by code is 4,000 PSI. We use 55,000 PSI. Between 5,000 and 55, we use both bags. The reason we use it is just for more strength. What we're trying to do is make the building understand. And when I say understand, because the building has to understand its weight as well. When you walk in as an individual, what do? If you put a backpack on, you know what you could carry in your backpack. The same thing the building has to do. So what we're doing is setting its feet that the building is strong enough to take 2 more floors, or in our case, 4 more floors. Let's say they change the zoning in 5 more years and we want to add, what we're doing. So the cement we get it goes by numbers. So numbers 4,000 is the normal, just to add floors on. What we did is we added to more of it, because what we want to do, just in case in years to come that we got to add 2 more floors, we know that the building can handle that. We're giving it more strength, we're giving it more ability, more fight, basically. It's just like carrying a backpack. From 50 pounds to 80. You go in the weight room, you lift 50 now. As you get stronger, you lift 80. It's the same thing. So what I want to show is the process. This has taken us a month to do. This Friday, this will be done. So why does it take so long? Because concrete takes time to cure. And what that means is over a month span, the concrete will get to its strongest point. And that's what we need. Before we can start going up, we want this building to be the strongest point. And that's where we are. That's what the gentlemen are doing over here. They're pouring the concrete, they're digging the holes. As you can see, there's plenty of concrete bags here. So what we're doing, so by Friday, this will be done. And then it's to the second part of this construction. But this is the most important. The thing that shows, and the thing that is what does for this building, get stronger, become bigger. This is the groundwork. This is ground zero when it comes to construction for us. Once this is done, then we can do everything we want. And as you can see, going through here, it's all been done, and it's been done the right way. That we have the individuals that know what they're doing. Besides me being the general contractor that tells everyone we're doing, as I told you, have to have the right individuals, the right subs, or the right individuals that know what they're doing and know how they want to do it. And that's what we have. So I'm honored, I'm happy, and I've put myself in the right position because of these guys, and that's what you guys have to do the same. So during our time today, what I showed you guys is basically the plans that what we're going to be doing on this building and how we're going to do it, and some of the trials and tribulations. meaning the goods and the bads, what's difficult and what's not, is what I showed you. Now we're here at the end result. What I want you guys to know today, just going to recap a little bit of the things that we talked about today, and also give you what I call the skinny on getting up to this part. So this is going to take about 10 minutes, so hold tight. I know you've been with us all day. You've learned a lot. You understand a lot. I'm sure you got hundreds of questions. We're going to have our Q&As as well. That's for another day, or that's for a little further on down in what we call our documentary, or what we call our show and tell. So we'll show you that. But what you guys are going to, what I want you to learn in this little 10 minutes is basically some of the recap of it, and basically what brought me to doing it. So just on the recap end of it, what we showed you today is that this 4 family is going to be an 8 family. We're going to turn this from a 4 unit to an 8 unit. We're going to have 7 2-bedrooms and 1 1-bedroom duplex with a rooftop deck. Again, this is my design. Not everyone designs in that one. Not everyone cares about rooftop deck. Not everyone cares. Some people are strictly about square footage and strictly about the money they can make. For me, I'm taking a little bit of all of it. So basically, I'm the breakfast. In your breakfast, you can switch many different things in your breakfast. Pancakes, I'm a pancake guy. Some people like French toast. Some people like Belgian waffles. But the mainstays are the eggs, the sausages, the hams, the home fries, the potatoes. That's the mainstay. Down south, you guys like your grits. So there's a whole lot of different ways you can have a breakfast or make a breakfast. And I'm doing the same thing when it comes to properties. But what I want you guys to know that this has been a process. This is something I thought about. My claim to fame was being an athlete. So this is why I said to you guys, you can do it. For 18 years of my life, I was a professional basketball player. Be as it may, was in Spain and Argentina was the mix, but that's what I did. So I wasn't even home when this was a thought. So this is why I'm saying this is something that everyone can do. You don't have to be that individual, or you had to learn it from this, or you had to grow up in this field, or you went to school for this. It's none of that. It's if you care and if you want to do it, you can do it. And this is what we've done here. So the recap on this building is very simple. 4 unit to an 8, 4 family to an 8, 7 2-bedrooms, 1 1-bedroom duplex with a rooftop. This building's value is going to be 3-4 times the value. And the reason why it's going to be 3 or 4 times the value, because of what we put into it. Not only the dollar value, but the care, the love you put into it, the individuals that's going to touch this building, because you need help going through this in order to get it to where you want. But again, there's a long process that this takes. One of the processes, you need a great architect. You need an even better contractor. You need good individuals around you that can help you through this process, because this is not a one-man process. You don't have to have people on the same playing field at the same table, but they have to understand your goal. And once everybody understands your goal and what you want to do and the time frame that you want to do it in, you'll be fine. It will get done. So I said to you guys, an architect, a contractor, and your finance individual. With finance individuals could be a bank, could be a broker, could be a lender, could be a family member. It could be whoever's going to help you get the finances, or what we call in our field, the resources, in order to get this done. Those 4 are the typical individuals that you use regularly, and the people that help you change what I call the footprint of real estate, because these people are going to help you get in, get out, beat the time, make the money. And the 5th, most important, is the heart to do it. You have to have the heart to do this. And that heart expands into everything. That's your know-all, that's your feelings, that's your ability, that's your thought process. You have to have that. Because if you have these 5 things, again, contractor, architect, finance, yourself, which is your heart, and a know-all. So with these will make you be the person you need to be, and will make you be the team you want to be. Because it's like I said to you, this is not something you have to do by yourself. I'm actually doing it by myself, because this is my baby. This is what I want to do. I have one of my partners, which is a cousin. He's my partner in the construction business. I'm getting him into the real estate business. So he's actually going to be a part of this. But this is all me. Eat, sleep. This is what I do. So if this is something you want to do, this is what you're going to do. This is a process, this whole process. Like I said, look, I have a plan. Architect, that's the plan. I'm the contractor. In order to get the financing for this, I needed this guy and I needed this guy. And myself with the heart. So if I wear all the hats, or if I distribute those hats to the right individual, things can be done. Again, this process is tough. It's not easy, but if I can do it, you can do it. If not you, then who? Generational wealth. This is what happens. This is for the community. This is for my family. This is for our society. This is for Minorities Day. Because we all have the feeling that it's not us that's doing it, and that's not true. It's people like myself that's doing it, and we're going to show you. So what you're going to learn from our social media outlets, what you're going to learn from our YouTube channel, what you're going to learn from our consulting firm, and what you're going to learn from me is it can be done, and we can help you. There's always the right people out there, and we're going to get it done.